Hey all, new week, new countdown. It's Monday, of course. Countdown day here on the channel, and today's topic, in light of recent news coming out about Transformers Rise of the Beasts and the, we'll call it trailer for lack of a better term, the 22nd spot for Transformers Kingdom, the question seemed appropriate to ask now, who is your favorite Beast Wars character? That's going to be our topic this time around in the latest GotBot Counts Down. Hey all, welcome back to the channel, you most beautiful of people. I am your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light them up, baby. And hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all my social media links, all down in the description below. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course hit the join button right here on YouTube to become a channel member, baby. And yes, the question today, the question at hand is the top 10 I guess fan voted on most favorite Beast Wars characters, and the voting was very fast and furious for this one. We actually have 2 ties here, and our honorable mentions, we're actually going to have 7 honorable mentions. So without any further ado, how about we kick things off with those honorable mentions? And they include, coming in first, Quick Strike. I'm glad that Quick Strike, had some votes. He was kind of late to the party. Like, when votes started to roll in for Quick Strike, they kind of came regular, but votes coming in for him really didn't start till fairly late in the voting process. Tigerhawk and Ravage, they were tied in terms of votes that they got. Both great characters. What else did we have here? Pterosaur. Air Razor, I thought Air Razor was going to be a little higher because of the recent Kingdom release, to be honest with you, but Air Razor, Tigatron, and tied with Tigatron is Optimus Primal himself. None of them made the list of 10. That's right, Optimus Primal, Air Razor, Tigatron, Pterosaur, Ravage, Quick Strike, and Tigerhawk did not make the top 10. There's some pretty heavy hitters. So who did? Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to kick things off with number 10 first. Number 10 is exemplified by youth, sarcasm, and character development. I'm talking about tie, that's right, it is Cheetor and Black Arachnia. Cheetor, a lot of people that voted for him said, look, they could relate to him when he was young, and it was great to see his character development and to see him mature and grow along the way. You could see him grow up. It was very smart writing and character development for Cheetor by the end of Beast Machines, especially, where he himself had really evolved into becoming like a leader type. Then we have Black Arachnia, the proto form that was born, that was, labeled one thing, but she never quite fit that mold, even though she was trying to convince herself. She was a proto form. She had been a maximal proto form, but she said that she's bad. She's just bad. And even when she started to see her good side, she still was convinced that she was bad. It took a lot before she really realized who she truly was and what she truly was. Because of their youth, because of that character development, and because fans just finally remember them. Tied for number 10, we have Cheetor, we have Black Arachnia, and they both deserve that spot. Number 9 is a character that was a little late to the party in terms of the fiction, but man, what an impact he made with a very dark backstory. But at the same time, one particular episode that really showed that there's more to his character. I'm talking about Rampage, or Proto Form X, if you will. Now this is my custom one. I don't have the legs. These are actually kind of made very haphazard with some like building blocks. I think they might be Legos, and a lot of like electrical tape, but you know what, it works, it's fine. Some people have asked why I don't have the legs. I haven't been able to find them, to be honest with you, so I may do. And I found this guy thrifting for $3, so I really can't complain, to be honest with you. And I think that's about all he's missing. I've certainly done some custom paint work on him. Anyway, yeah, Rampage comes in at the number 9 slot, and everybody that voted for him really voted for the same reason. his relationship with Transmutate and how that showed he had more heart, but also like, you know, his dark backstory that made like a foreboding type of entrant to the Predacons. Like when he appeared, when you found out what he had done, you were like, yeah, this is a serious threat. This guy is going to be dangerous. And indeed he was. And of course he had one of the greatest rivalries, one of the greatest relationships ever with his arch nemesis. We might even talk about him a little bit later. But for now, Rampage takes the number 9 slot. Just as number 10 was a tie between a Maximal and a Predacon, although you could argue that Black Arachnia at the end is a Maximal. Number 8 is another tie between a Maximal and a Predacon. This time, they are linked by way of science and by way of being just a little bit messed up. I'm talking about Rhinox and Tarantulas. Right from the get-go, a lot of people said Tarantulas got the votes he did because he is basically Beast War's version of Shockwave. He is their scientist. He is a mad scientist. The dude is even cannibalistic. Then we have Rhinox. Rhinox is intelligent, soft-spoken for the most part, but also able to get very angry and very ferocious when need be. And we all know how his character arc went. Much different than most character arcs, where he really kind of broke bad, and we saw him get darker and darker. And by Beast Machines, we all know the whole Tanker story arc. And if you don't know the Tankor story arc, go watch it, is all I can say. It is one of the things from Beast Machines that actually is a pretty good story arc, arguably. So without, you know, kind of without discriminating Predacon or Maximal, voting purely really kind of based on a descent into madness and being the brains of their teams, Rhinox and Tarantulas were able to both tie themselves up at the number 8 slot. And for old lucky number 7, we go from kind of mad scientists to heroics. And there are none more heroic than Silverbolt, the most chivalrous of all Transformers, quite possibly. At least certainly as it pertains to Black Arachnia. Yeah, a lot of people said, look, he was heroic, he was brave. The two animals that he is a fuser of are cool. I agree with all of that. Honestly, it's pretty simplistic. If there was ever anyone that you wanted to root for to win, if there was ever anyone that you wanted to root for because he's just all around a good guy, it would probably be Beast Wars fuser Silverbolt. And enough people felt the same way that he took the number 7 slot. And at number 6 we have, just to get classy here for a moment, the Javert 2 Rampages Jean Valjean. Don't know Les Mis? Look it up. I'm talking, of course, about really he who was on the hunt for the criminal rampage, Depth Charge. What a magnificent rivalry that Depth Charge and Rampage had. Really serving his role as that prison guard and trying to seek justice for like everybody in the, what was it, town? I don't even remember the specifics now, but I know that there were like, you know, like mass victims for Rampage, and I know that Depth Charge always blamed himself. It's been a hot minute since I watched Beast Wars. I really should go back soon and rewatch the series again. It was brilliant. So well written. But yeah, a lot of people said, look, he had a cool motivation. A lot of people said the voice acting was impeccable for him, and indeed it was. A lot of people said Ray alt mode, the, what was it, Stingray, Manta Ray, whatever it is, alt mode, was just really kind of cool as well. He was big, he was a bruiser, and you really sort of felt like when it came to the danger that Rampage was, there was only one guy who could really match up, and it was this guy. Excellent character, excellent story arc. He had like a very dark motivation. He even had a dark ending, but it was a beautifully done story. And for that reason, and because this character was so dynamic and so engaging, he was able to take the number 6 slot. And here we are once again at the most prestigious and most coveted of positions. That's right, the, wait for it, halfway mark. And at the halfway mark, this time around, it is extremely fitting that we have he who is all about doing things for the royalty, being Inferno, man. Yeah, Inferno. Taking the most prestigious, most coveted of locations here at the halfway mark. Look, a lot of people kind of said the same thing. The guy was hilarious. He was also threatening. Like, you believed him to be a credible threat when he was on screen, but at the same time, it was his interactions with Megatron are some of the best comedic writing that has ever been in all of Transformers. And a lot of people who voted for him didn't just say Inferno. They actually had to say, for the royalty, or for my queen. They actually had to put one of his quotes with his name. It's rare that that happens, but his quotes are so iconic, you almost feel compelled to do so. Sort of like the way you feel compelled to rhyme with Wheelie. The only difference being his quotes, not nearly as annoying. Anyway, you cut it. Enough people remember Inferno fondly, as do I, that he was able to take the number 5 slot. Now, number 4 was a little bit of a surprise to me, because I always saw this character as a little bit of a whiner and just a slight bit annoying. I'm talking about Rat Trap. That's right, number 4 is good old Rat Trap. And I guess a lot of people like Rat Trap because of his one-liners, you know, because he's considered to be kind of sarcastic. He's a measure of comedic relief. But he does so in kind of like a dark humor sort of way. I guess it says a lot about the sense of humor that a lot of Transformers fans have. Like I said, I always thought that he was, you know, just a little bit of a whiner, just a little bit annoying, but a lot of people did not point to that. A lot of people said the guy was hilarious. And you can't argue with comedy. And for that reason, Rat Trap takes the number 4 slot. And now at number 3, we kind of stick with the motif of comedy with a character that I would say really transcended Beast Wars. Even people who aren't fans of Beast Wars know this character. It's none other than poor old Waspinator. And everybody knows that the universe hates Waspinator. Starscream wife, not a huge Beast Wars fan, but even she knows Waspinator. Even she knows he gets blown to smithereens all the time, and even she knows the universe hates Waspinator. One of the best portrayed, most unique characters on the entire series. The running gag of him always getting blasted to pieces and wanting to prove himself time and time again to Megatron and never getting that recognition was an ongoing joke, but also a great story arc, because there, right kind of toward the end, he finally says no. And he says how Waspinator's sick of it. And we know how things kind of ended for him at the end of Beast Wars. A little bit different in Beast Machines, but certainly at the end of Beast Wars. And like I can't argue with the comedy. I've laughed at a lot of the poor things that have happened to Waspinator and a lot of the jokes that he just didn't get. Even his mannerism of having to not necessarily say names, but like refer to other characters by like the creature that they turn into. Like, there's so much about Waspinator that was well written, well acted, the cadence, the timing, the character, the look, everything. Not only iconic, not only transcends Beast Wars, but is absolutely memorable, sticks in everyone's minds when they see him. How could he not take the number 3 slot? And now, at number 2, we have he who I'm sure believes he should be number 1. I'm talking about Megatron himself. Yes. Now, to be fair, it's actually not this version of Megatron. Most of the votes, well, some people just said Megatron in general, apply it as you like. Most of the votes actually came in for his Transmetal 2 Dragon form. Megatron had so many forms, but in general, the general idea is that you know, he was actually a threatening Megatron. Like, you believed that he could win often. In fact, one could argue that in Beast Machines for a long time he had won. He went from a character that we thought was a revisioning of G1 Megatron to a character that we realized wasn't, to a character that we realized was naming himself after Megatron as an homage, to realizing he isn't even the leader of all the Predacons. He's really just kind of a thug with like a band of thugs, to coming up with all these schemes and plans that build him up to the point that he in essence is Cybertron, and he is in essence a god-level threat. And you couldn't argue with it. It was always done in a believable kind of way that, yes, Beast Wars Megatron, he's the only guy who could accomplish this. I don't know if it boiled down to good writing. I don't know if it boiled down to luck. I don't know if it boiled down to the right ideas. I don't know if it boiled down to the impeccable voice acting done by Mr. David Kaye. Or a mix of all those things. But I think very, very few people can deny that not only do they know, but they find themselves intrigued and motivated to watch more when they are encountering scenes with good old Beast Wars Megatron. Even more so when he looks like that ferocious dragon. For that reason, he took the number 2 slot, and that only leaves us with 1. And after you've told the story at number 1, everything else is silence. Of course, I'm referring to none other than Dinobot. I would argue, and this is just me arguing, it's certainly open for debate, this is definitely not a fact, but I would argue that Dinobot is one of the most engaging Transformers characters of all time. Forget about Beast Wars. Just one of the most engaging Transformers characters of all time. Again, acted and performed so well. He sticks to his personality. He is who and what he is, but we, at the same time, see such a huge growth with this character. He is thoughtful. He is honorable. He is certainly a combatant, but we see him go from being a follower, though briefly, of Megatron, to then wanting to become a leader of the Maximals, to respecting Optimus Primal, though that took time, to kind of being a good guy, but still saying he's only a Predacon, to reaching a point where, due to his honor, due to his realization of a sense of right and wrong, his greatest action saved all of humanity before humanity was ever able to develop, really. And though some would say that was the end of his story arc, even if you want to throw in Dinobot 2, if you're anything like me, you spent the time that Dinobot 2 was there, the whole time, hoping that you'd see a glimmer of this Dinobot, hoping you'd see a glimmer of that honor, hoping he would realize who he truly is. Not a Predacon, not a follower, but an honorable, heroic leader. That's what he always was. That's what he always should have been. And enough people felt the same way that far and away, with one of the highest number of votes for any countdown ever, not the highest, but well up there, Dinobot takes number 1 for favorite Beast Wars character. And there we have it, guys. We've gone once again from good old 10 down to a 1. And yeah, this was a great one. There were some other votes that came in for other characters, of course. Nyx, apparently, I don't know who that is. Somebody said it's from the new comics. I have no idea who that is. Torka. Who else had some? Galvatron, Magmatron. Manterror, Sky Shadow, Sky Warp, Scorponok. I thought Scorponok was going to be higher. I was happy to see Botanica get a vote because I kind of included Beast Machines here because I see it all as part of the same series. And Lio Convoy as well as Big Convoy, and so many more. Who knew there were so many characters to love from a series that was well known for having a small cast? I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your very valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring. Of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube to become a channel member. While you're at it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Stick around, man. Have some fun with us here on the channel. Don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old-fashioned way, baby, right here inside the videos.